Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here. I hope everybody's doing well, you know? So, we are going to talk about a trend that is going on in Chicago. And actually, it's kind of similar to New York when I was telling y'all how these illegals would get on mopeds and snatch purses and found and they mainly wanted iPhones because they were trying to get access to your banking and try to empty out your accounts. And their main targets were women, especially women that were walking alone, but they didn't get all women because, there was a story out there. They tried to snatch black woman's purse, and she was able to overtake that illegal, and he didn't get away with none of her stuff. So now in Chicago, they are making people go into their apps and go to their banking apps at gunpoint to steal from them. So now they said this is something that's rising in Chicago, and we got to always be aware of these things, especially if you are in a city. The crime is high, you got all those illegals around you and stuff. You need to know what's going on, because what is happening in one city can easily happen in other cities. So let me go ahead and I'm going to play this video first before I do. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Please give me a one if you can see the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Now, in this footage, there is a slight pause in the beginning. So it's not me, it's actually on their end. All right. So let me go ahead and so we can watch this.
The video you're about to see to find out how you can protect yourself. Surrounded, guns in hand. Take a look at your screen and you'll see the crew in action. Police say they're behind at least 4 armed robberies with 5 victims since Thursday morning. Here, surrounding a woman. Then you see them take off, armed. One, phone in hand. Police say in one case, the victim was made to reset his password on his phone at gunpoint. In another, the victim was made to log into their banking applications within their phone at gunpoint. Take another look at the video. Police say the crew of 4 men travel in a gray Dodge Durango. You see that here. And carry handguns. You see those too. But apart from leaving your phone at home, so connected to so many aspects of life, what can you do to make yourself less vulnerable? I checked in with Bill Cressy, also known as Professor Fraud, to find out.
I think a lot of people are baffled at what a solution to this could be.
His solution? He says the best thing you can do to protect yourself: remove banking and cash apps from your phone. If that's not an option,
Keep a separate account on a banking app and keep a low dollar amount in there, maybe a couple of $100, 1,000 tops, so that if you are confronted by a bad guy in this situation, yes, you'll be out a couple of $100, but you won't be out all of your money.
he also said to make sure to have Zelle, Venmo, and any other cash apps connected to that account with the lower balance. We've continued to check in with Chicago police. No one is in custody right now. We'll continue to bring you the very latest. Reporting downtown, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
I think that's terrible. So you can't even go out with your cell phone. Now somebody's going to put a gun in your face, demand you change your password, demand you go into your bank app, and that's how they're going to rob you now. So it's not going to look like some stranger got your phone. It's going to look like you did everything. And so on the banking end, it's going to look like you just willingly went into the account and moved your money, right? Because nobody else attempted to do it. You, the customer, did it. You know, boy, I tell you, it's going to get to the point where I think some people are not going to carry their phone anymore. I do. I think, or what you're going to have to do is get one of those throwaway phones. Those phones you use at one time and then you toss it, and you don't really have anything on it, and not take your regular phone out. Just get this throwaway phone. I'm serious, y'all. You're going to have to come up with different options because this thing is getting out of hand. You would think people can go out and get left alone. And no, that's not the case at all. That's not a case. And I remember it must have been January or February up there in New York. These migrants were trying to steal the iPhone of this woman and dragged her. Like the person was on the moped. She was still trying to hang on, and they started riding away, and they dragged this woman. You know, one thing I do, and I have gotten in the habit of doing when I'm out and about, I don't have my cell phone in my hand. I know almost virtually everybody I pass by, if I'm walking, got cell phones directly in their hands. I always put mine in my purse. I put mine in my purse. I do not walk around with it in my hand. And but I see people, I just went to the supermarket and virtually everybody I passed by either had it in their hand or they were talking on it. And I have learned how to get in the habit of not letting my phone be visible out in public. Now, if you get a call, that's one thing, but if there's no calls coming through, I just keep it, zipped up in my purse where I'm walking around, but you don't even see me with it. And then there were certain situations where I had to turn it off. So, I know things are just getting worse out here, but if you can come up with an alternative that works for you so that you don't let the bad guys, because the bad guys are out here and that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody vulnerable and you're standing around with a cell phone and those are your targets right there. See, you saw those three guys, they targeted a woman. This woman was walking along and they stopped her. They had guns. They were making her change her password and all that. No, and it looks like that woman was by herself. It didn't look like there were other people with her. And that's exactly what they're looking for. That's exactly what they're looking for. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Um, Romy Black, that's how I feel. When I go out and I'm not familiar with people, I just kind of keep my distance. I don't trust anybody, y'all. I'll be the first to tell you. I don't trust when I go out, I do not trust the average person that I encounter. You know, there are maybe rare occasions where I can see a person needs help and stuff like that. Um, Back after Katrina, we had a whole bunch of people from Louisiana come to New Jersey, because they were sending them everywhere all over the country. And one day I was in the supermarket and this black woman approached me. And at first I kind of, didn't pay her much mind. And then she told me, she says, I'm a Katrina victim. My kids and I are staying in the hotel. The hotel was just like maybe a few parking lots down. And she said, I don't want to bother you, but we don't have no food. I got three kids. We're in the hotel. And she says, I am not lying to you. If you want, you can come down there. And I said, no, I don't need to do all of that. So what I did was I had like a couple of those plastic bags in my trunk. I always keep like little bags in my trunk. So I took a bag and I just reached in my food and I gave her a couple of things out of my groceries. And that was one of those rare occasions where I could really see someone needed help. And, when she walked away, she went right down to the hotel where she said she was. And I saw her go in there. But y'all, most of the time, I'm not even approachable. Just the expression I have on my face sometimes, I make myself unapproachable where people won't walk up and say anything to me. I don't always like that. I really don't. So be careful because there's a lot of desperate people out here. And when people become desperate, they become dangerous. For real. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it really is difficult out here. And, because of all the inflation and people are not making money like they used to, and the salaries aren't keeping up with the inflation, it's a lot of desperate people out here. A lot, a lot, and even when I look at some of the local news, it's a lot of things like shoplifting and robberies that are really rising around where I am. It's a lot of that going on. Probably more now than I think I've seen since I've been in this area. You always saw it, throughout my life, I always saw it, but I notice it is really exploding now. People are really desperate and they're struggling and they're scared. And wow, I mean, this is the world them folks made for us because they love telling you they're in charge. And yeah, you're in charge of probably the most corrupt, screwed up, violent world in the history of the planet. That's what you're in charge of. If you want to pat yourself on the back for that, you have at it. Have at it. Yeah, right. All they did was create hell on earth. That's exactly. James Mosley, that's what they did. It's hell on earth everywhere because of these people. Oh yeah, Kara, that's one thing about you New Yorkers. New Yorkers don't play. I tell you what, if they really put their foot down up there in New York, they would have to get rid of the migrants if those folks turned up on them up in New York. That I do know. Let those New Yorkers turn up. I promise you, those migrants will be out of there in no time. Now, I got family up in New York. I know how y'all roll. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, around here, a lot of the stores got like certain items locked up. They'll have like toothpaste and deodorant. I was like, why y'all got stuff like that? They said, you'd be surprised. This is exactly what people come in here for, you know? And I'm like, deodorant and toothpaste and stuff don't even cost that much. They were like, yeah, no, it don't cost that much, but people come in here and try to steal it all the time. So there are certain things you got to ask for because they have it locked up. You can't just get it. I mean that's ridiculous. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying that that's why a lot of our people during the lockdown, when we could not be out there, got used to, just ordering online. And a lot of them said, it's not that they like ordering online, but at least when they do that, nobody is watching them and following them around or trying to accuse them of stealing when they didn't steal. So when they were ordering online, it came to their door and that was it. And that's why so many in our group, it's not that they don't want to go in stores, but they're just tired of being harassed. Every time you walk in a store, eyes are on you. They're trying to always, you would think nobody out here ever steals, just us. Every single group out here steals. Look at these Venezuelans. They don't do nothing but steal. But if you listen to them folks, we're the only ones out here stealing. And please, I've seen people in their group out here. I've been in stores and seen them steal. Man, get out of here. I'll never forget. It must have been probably like the early part, maybe 2004, 2005. I was in the supermarket, a ShopRite, and I was shopping, and I had went there right after work. I said, before I go home, I'm just going to do the grocery shopping. So I went into the supermarket and I was shopping, and I happened to turn my head over to where they had the meat. I saw a white woman stick a roast inside of a big black purse she was carrying. She picked a roast. I'm watching her. She picked up a roast and put it in her purse. That's why when they try to imply we are the ones committing the crimes, I laugh. They commit plenty of crimes. It's just that they don't get, they don't get the police called on them like we do. Really, that's the only difference. Nobody is calling the cops on them like they're calling it on us. But I saw this white woman pick up a roast, and she had this big black oversized purse, and she picked that roast up and put it right in that purse and zipped it up. I'm watching the whole thing. So please stop with this only we're stealing. Please stop with that crap. And plus, when y'all do it, you try to label it something else. Just like when Katrina happened, black people loot, white people take. And you remember, y'all remember that? They both out there taking from a store, right? But it had all over the headline that black people were looting. And when white people had food that they took and didn't pay for, oh, they took the food. They try to make it seem like we're looting and they're taking it because it was necessary for them to eat. Please get out of here. You were stealing. Get out of here. Y'all remember that? They always try to label it as something different when they get caught doing the same thing. It's the biggest joke ever. Yeah, but you want to hear something really interesting about George Floyd, Jacob Ladder? That was my grandmother's favorite song. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. She used to love that song. So anyway, the store that George Floyd went into, do you know that was a Palestinian owned store where he got accused of trying to pass off a counterfeit $20 bill? That store was owned by Palestinians. Did y'all know that? Yes, that store was owned by Palestinians that said he had a counterfeit $20 bill. And we never seen or heard about that $20 bill, not even during Derek Chauvin's trial. They didn't bring up the counterfeit $20 bill. That's how I knew the bill had to be real, because they wouldn't talk about it no more. And I said, okay, them not wanting to talk about that alleged counterfeit $20 bill, that says it all. That says it all. All right. Here was something else I wanted to show y'all. Hold on one second. I'll find it. Um, Robbery was, I think I might have found it. Hold on one second. Can I find that one? Well, anyway, there was y'all already know about the black woman and what happened with those pro-Israeli students. Well, there was another incident. Let me see, why can't I find it? Palestinians, black students, tree. Well, anyway, there was an incident between some pro Palestinian protesters and black students were complaining because they had a hard time getting on to a campus because of them. And that turned into a confrontation, which tells you right there, ladies and gentlemen, it don't matter if they are pro-Israel protesters or pro-Palestinian protesters. We've had bad encounters with both of them. But there was one that came out a few days ago about a black student complaining about entry onto the college campus because of all the protesting. And that turned into a confrontation between the black student and the pro Palestinian protesters. And then the one I showed you yesterday were pro Israel protesters and their confrontation with a black woman calling her Lizzo and making monkey sounds. That right there proves, y'all, neither side likes us, but they want us on their side. You see how that is? That's why it's best to stay out of the whole thing. As I said to you before, we don't have a good relationship with either side. We really, truly don't. So there is no point or purpose for us to be all involved in whatever they got going on. Mm-hmm. So it don't matter which side, they both have a problem with us. That's what it's showing. And I understand in the case of the students on the college campus because they still had to go to class. So I do understand how they had that encounter. But the young woman, I wish she just didn't get herself involved in that. No matter what, that's not our issue. And that's not where we should be focusing our energy on these different protests. Mm-mm. Because historically, we have always tried to get involved in stuff. But see, now things have changed because no matter who we help, those group of people always turn on us. No matter who we offer our assistance to, they will get around to turning on us. Now we are at the point in time in our lives where we're like, the hell with everybody. We'll just focus on ourselves. And now they're upset about that. They're very upset because now we won't take a side and we have made it clear we're just going to mind our business. And now they're upset because we're minding our business. But no, gone are the days where we pick a side or we join you in whatever little war you got going on. We're not doing any of those things anymore because no matter what we do, you're going to come right back to that N word. So no, we're done with that. We're done. We have moved on. Hmm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here, and be on the lookout for my videos tomorrow. And if you haven't had a chance to watch them, please do. And oh, and another thing I wanted to say, recently I've been doing once a week, I've been doing videos with my channel members, and these are videos totally separate from what I do with you. And it's turning out real well. We're talking about hair growth and different things you can do to grow your hair. And it's for both men and women. And I would like to get more channel members because there are things that I'm going to cover that I will not be doing on my public videos. And they're really good things for you to hear, especially if you have suffered a hair loss or you have alopecia, or you don't know what to do to get bald spots gone and stuff. This will help with all of that. So if you can become a channel member, please do, because right now you are missing out on some really good information. So next week I will be doing another. I've been doing it every Friday. So I will be doing it again this coming Friday. We'll be talking about more things you can do. And we're going to get into a lot of good things: red light therapy. We're going to get into exercise, weight loss. We're going to also get into doing more things with herbs, not just hair products, but skin products too, making those from home from scratch. So if you can become a channel member, please become one. I mean, it'll be worth your while. So, y'all, be on the lookout for my videos after midnight. Shalom.